Just going to keep his opening hand. We are clear for takeoff in just a moment here. Manic Influence, Laguna Band Trailblazer, round number 16 underway.
With Chris, is this matchup here from Chris is that he just doesn't have removal spells. He doesn't play any. So Adam just gets to swing in with these creatures. So Chris needs to be fast. Elvish Mystic is the most important card for him in this matchup.
It's all about acceleration. Kind of like it was in the last round against Brad Nelson. There is Elvish Mystic. That's a biggie. You know, you're not going to find pinpoint removal spells. You will find a card like Pelucranos World Eater and Dragon Lord Atarka, but those can be easily trumped.
Yeah, I mean, and Pelucranos, I mean, how much work does it take to kill a Laguna Band Trailblazer with a Pelucranos? That's not going to happen.
There's an attack for 0.
Okay. All right. I mean,
we'll have some sort of pump or trigger
here. No block, question mark.
Yes,
yeah.
It's going to be a copy of God's Willing.
Wow. So if he was going to make that play, I would have expected to see Adam do that during his upkeep to try to hit the land, as opposed to doing it during his attack.
Now, there is a chance there that, you know, if he draws the second land, he has something else to do. So he doesn't have the, you know, if he peels second land, he can just say, okay, I'll Ordeal Thassa.
I guess if his card was Defiant Strike, now I'm okay with that, but this wasn't a good turn. That was a really valuable card. I understand that you could naturally hit the second land, but I think I just want to do that upkeep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a risk either way, I think, in that situation. Again, if you peel the second land, you can get Ordeal Thassa onto your creature right away. It looks like he's going to draw. He drew a copy of Aqueous Form.
So this is the thing why this matchup is so hard, is that Adam's draw is really bad. He turned 2 God's Willing, using God's Willing, and turn 3 just using Aqueous Form. And I'll be honest, Adam might still win this game.
Yes.
This is that hard of a matchup for Chris.
Yep.
I mean, now that he has this 2/6 unblockable that scries every turn. I mean, you see Ordeal of Thassa in Adam's hand. He draws a land, and this creature's big. It's suddenly 4 power. It's unblockable. Adam's drawing cards. I mean, a lot of stuff's happening. So now the pressure's on Chris to, you know, whisper what it out here.
Yeah,
do something
Chris
big.
has got to get creatures on the table now.
And not the mana kind of creatures, the kind that kill stuff.
Yep. Pelucranos, Whisperwood Elemental, work your way towards Dragonlord Atarka, something. There's Whisperwood Elemental. That'll bring a manifest along with it.
This is exactly what Team CVM needed on this turn.
So a little manifest action will be coming so long as he does remember the trigger.
No, but this pressure, this is his best weapon actually in the matchup, is to find his own sources of pressure, rather than because he can't find answers. So
well,
it's
given Adam's draw right now too. Absolutely, and he misses his land yet again. He's got to attack. He'll get a scry here. We'll see how aggressive he wants to get. He has a card like a Johnny's Presence in his hand right now. He can make his creature bigger. Yeah, I think right now you're forced to just use your card, use your card, use your card.
You're not going to ever use it again. You have enough of these to play a 1-mana spell every turn until the end of the game and not run out. Chris isn't killing your things. Yeah, you just got to keep using them. And scry everything that's not a land to the bottom.
He's going to put the top card to the bottom. There's the Johnny's Presence. That'll give you a +1/+1 from the Hero Trigger and the +1/+1 from itself.
Right. So Chris actually at 11, I mean, once again, the kind of the amusing part is that Adam could still win this race. I don't know if he has an Ordeal of Heliod in his hand, but if he does, that could win this race for him.
Yeah.
Swing, gain 10.
He plays 2 in his main deck.
Yeah. I mean, his creature would get up to a 6 power. Like, if he draws the land, he has a 2-turn clock with this creature on the board. Now, I'm not even, right now, Chris doesn't have a 2-turn clock on the swing back.
Yeah, he can attack for 7 right now if he'd like.
So 7 and then 9. Okay, so he does, but Ordeal of Heliod would take that away for 10-point life gain.
So Chris has got to turn the pressure up here. And if you're Adam, there's no defense to be played in this game. Chris going to come across here for 6 points of damage. Fronsee's going to go down to 10. Here's 5 mana. That means Whisperwood number 2.
Okay, now Chris has him dead next turn.
Yep.
I think Adam needs land Ordeal of Heliod or bust. So, because Chris's swing next turn is for 15. Yeah, it's going to have to be that combination of cards.
Fronsee will take a draw. Yeah, there's no guarantee that his land that he draws even enters the battlefield untapped.
Right, and it doesn't. So I don't think he has another play. And I'm not sure he had the Ordeal of Heliod. I think he just had a Johnny's Presence.
Looks like another Johnny's Presence, yeah. Fronsee's going to take a look at Whispered Elemental, make sure he knows exactly what that does.
Yeah, so now the question is, can he block, use a Johnny's Presence, and then draw the Ordeal and win? And I don't believe he can. There's 10 unblocked. He can block one creature, and he takes 10 off the others.
Yeah. Unfortunate situation here for Fronsee, just unable to ever draw a second land. And now he has to play defense, and that's not exactly where the Heroic deck wants to be. So VanMeter's going to untap. He'll draw a card here. And he might be able to steal game number 1 here from Adam Fronsee. Rattleclaw Mystic the draw to go along Courser and Felucranos in hand. You have to imagine right now, for Chris, you're just kind of running through your head what exactly Adam could have in this situation. Is there anything he can have to actually stop me? But I think Chris is going to come to the same conclusion that we already have, which is get in there with everybody.
Adam blocks the biggest thing, and he's dead. So game 1 over to Chris VanMeter.
It is. That's definitely stealing game number 1 in this matchup against Adam Fronsee.
All 3 of the games are stealing if Chris can get them.
Yeah, it really, really is. That's how difficult this matchup is for CFM. But he's able to get in game number 1 with the Green Red Devotion, up a game over Bant Heroic. As we take a look at the sideboard here, we'll start with Fronsee. He's got 1 Seeker of the Way, 2 Johnny's Presence, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Ordeal of Heliod, 2 Treasure Cruise, 3 Stubborn Island, 3 Monastery Mentor. What do you like over there?
I don't know if I like anything. This is a really good matchup for you. Disdainful Stroke is reasonable. Chris plays a lot of ramp. I could see definitely going toward those 2 Disdainful Strokes. So maybe you'll use some of those. Monastery Mentor is not unreasonable against a deck that has no removal. Then again, I think your best weapon against Devotion is to just suit up one guy and go in with it. So, yep, 2 Disdainful Strokes, nothing else.
Yeah, I don't want to change too much. I know that Adam's draw wasn't great that particular game. You know, he didn't draw the next land for Ordeal of Thassa and just didn't really, he just kind of stumbled and fumbled. But honestly, you know, I think you take a step back and you say, look, this matchup's great for me and I drew bad.
I mean, he still almost won.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous considering considering what his hand did. His turn 1 play was an 0-4. His turn 2 play was God's willing it, do nothing else, won you, don't play a land. These aren't real plays, and Adam was still in the game.
Okay. 2 Plummets and Ugin, 2 Arbor Colossus and Arc Lightning, 3 Nylea's Disciple, 2 Nissa World Waker, a Xenagos the Reveler, 2 Hornet Nest, and a Den Protector here for VanMeter.
All right, so think about VanMeter's matchup from a counter-punching side. He needs to just take hits and then hit back harder. So I actually really like Nylea's Disciple in this matchup because it's an extra hit that he can take. The life gain is pretty reasonable. Hornet Nest forces Adam to have an Aqueous form, which Adam does play 3 of, but it forces it, so it's probably still a good card.
Okay.
Other cards in the matchup, I'm not sold on really much of anything. I don't think you'll ever get to Ugin. The 1 Arc Lightning is reasonable. It's not going to be great, but it's fine.
I would want Ugin on the play. And the off chance that I think you can get to 8 on the play. I don't think you can do it on the draw, personally.
Sure.
And I think it's reasonable there because if you get Ugin in play against Bant Heroic, the game is over.
Yep, you win.
Yeah, you just win the game. Now, we'll see if Chris wants to board that in for the 3rd game or even this game when he's going to be on the draw. We'll find out as these players do shuffle up and get ready for game number 2 of round number 16. Very quickly, however, we will talk about regionals. That will be right around the corner for you, August 1st. You see the dates available. It'll be our summertime tournament. If you're not qualified for Pro Tour Magic Origins, this will give you something to do. StarCityGames.com/regionals for more information. The information we can't present to you right now, however, is the awesome playmat that we do have available. It is the Ellen DeGeneres Oscar photo, but we have our own characters of our own.
Yeah, we have the entire creature collection. They came to the we had our own creature collection awards, and that's when the photo was taken.
Absolutely. Some people
they all showed up at the game center. It was really quite a ruckus having them all in the same spot.
August 1st is when regional championships will take place. StarCityGames.com/regionals for more information about that. We'll of course have more information about that tournament as we get closer to it, but we're planning so many things with Grand Prix Charlotte, Grand Prix London. Some things ahead of schedule at this point, including this tournament that we're watching right now. Round number 16 of our Season 2 Invitational here from the Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio. I am Cedric Phillips, of course, joined by Matthias Hunt. Patrick Sullivan is done for the day. He'll join us early tomorrow morning. You got Ken Crocker and Nick Miller on the sideboard doing your metagame breakdowns, getting your deck list and deck text together for one final round here, my friend.
We're hoping.
Yeah, it's been a long tournament.
Yeah. And
we're up here. We're not even playing.
So looking at the decks we have in our top 8, we were talking about, we have 4 people into top 8. Tarek Patel playing Amulet Bloom.
Yep.
Chris O'Brien on Tron. Hey, so okay, both of talked about both the decks we'd like to play this tournament. Both
Those are the decks we like.
All right. Kyle Bogamus on Grixis Twin. Chris and then our last one, this is Richard Adams. He's on Merfolk.
Okay, yeah. I think, so Amulet Bloom, Green Red Tron, and then Bogby's playing a deck I don't think either one of us wants to play against.
Grixis Twin.
Yeah. And
Not really, yeah. Merfolk.
I'm not too scared of Merfolk if I'm playing Tron.
I'll tell you, with the style of decks I play, I don't know if I've lost to Merfolk.
Well, it's possible that Richard just cleaned up on a lot of Twin decks. He did beat Todd Anderson in the last round of Modern today, so it would not surprise me if Twin is what he cleaned up on, and he might be happy getting paired against Grixis Twin.
There is a rock, paper, scissors going on between those decks you mentioned. Amulet and Tron both kind of being rock, Grixis being paper, and then Merfolk being scissors.
Yeah. And we got to figure out what the other 4 are, too. Keep in mind, Chris VanMeter wins this match. He's up a game right now, even though he's a bit of an underdog here. That's another Amulet Bloom in the top 8.
That mirror match is not fun. Just letting you know.
That's one of Chris's losses in Modern.
Yeah.
It's the Amulet Bloom mirror.
I lost the mirror I played SCG Modern States. Lost that in top 8.
Is it just a pure race?
I mean, you aren't it's not good. Yeah. It's not interesting.
Yeah, it's just a pure race.
You should draw Amulet every opening hand. That is the best strategy.
I'm mulligan for that, then. If that's what I have to do.
I mean, yeah. How many times?
I don't want to answer that question.
Right, I don't know. That's one of the big decisions.
Like, I'm not sure. Chris is going to mulligan at least once, while Fronsee's going to keep his opening hand.
There just aren't too many decisions in it, is the thing. You have about 3 decisions you get to make, and the best decision is to keep your 7.
Ali Antrazi is someone who's playing for top 8, I believe, in our backup match right now. If he wins, he's playing Green Red Tron as well.
Wow.
There's still game 1 over there in our backup match, so if we have time to jump that way, we certainly will.
We talked about it. It's a good meta game for that deck with so much mid-range around.
It seems like a good meta game for just kind of some, I don't know, big combo decks, I suppose. Or at least it feels that way. Let's see if Chris can find 6 cards that he is happy with. As he mulliganed that hand pretty quickly, but I also think in this matchup, you will find your hands, they're not particularly close, I would say. Either you're happy or you're really, really unhappy. So Fronsee going to shuffle up CVM's deck here very quickly, and then we'll see 6 cards.
And last time Chris was on 6 cards for game 1 as well.
Able to sneak through. We'll see 6 here.
I said before, he needs to have those enough mana creatures. He's got to have early acceleration in this matchup.
Yeah, he's found a hand that he's happy enough with. Green light means go.
As far as what he ramps into, I don't think he's very picky about the card, whether it's Pelucranos, Whisperwood. They're kind of just all the same thing.
That's the card that matters.
Yeah, it's the most important card. You'd like to have that and another one next turn.
Yeah. Fronsee going to sacrifice a Windswept Teeth and a Flooded Strand. So 2 lands coming. And we'll see if he has a heroic threat like Hero of Iroas for turn number 2. He does play 4 copies of Battlewise Hoplite as well, searching up an island and a plains. Let's see what that threat will be. It'll be Hero of Iroas. Maybe the best one he can play. We'll see if he can really take advantage of it. VanMeter will untap. Time to take a draw step. Rattleclaw Mystic is what he's found. You mentioned that mana acceleration is good. There's a Temple. That top card stays on top pretty quickly there for Chris. A Mystic and a passing of the turn. Fronsee will take a draw step here. Can he make a big hero?
This is all where Chris wants to be, to mana creatures on turns 1 and 2, but this time, unlike last game, Adam is also doing what he wants to be doing.
Yeah. There's a Temple. Trigger here from Fronsee. Top card very quickly goes to the bottom.
So he's got his creature set up. He's got a God's Willing for it. He has an Ordeal on it. This is what he does. This
is the draw.
Yep.
His deck is doing what it's supposed to do. Chris's deck is going to try to do what it's supposed to do. VanMeter's going to untap, take a draw. He's at 16. You mentioned Nylea's Disciple during sideboarding. That's a card that Chris does have. He's going to play Whisper Elemental turn number 3 right now, however.
He's got the turn 3 Whisperwood. Again, that's really important here yet again. And I'll be interested to see just how early Chris starts chump blocking. And by that, I mean, I wonder if it's now. The fact that these manifests are colorless is a big deal. You can't God's Willing past them.
Aqua's form. He's got three,
no
he's got 3 of those.
one.
There is no answer there. Trigger. Gets a counter. Ordeal will be cracked. Hit 1 and 2 here for Fronsee.
I don't think we'll ever see Chris attempt to kill this creature. You know, say, oh, he can try to double block or something like that. I think he's just going to always be chumping Adam's things.
And I love the chump block here. If that was a Dragler or Tark, I would have blocked. Just don't take any unnecessary points of damage.
Yeah.
There's a Monastery Mentor. Fronsee might be trying to go wide this game.
I mean, we talked about before, Chris has very little removal, and if they have little removal, Monastery Mentor is a beating.
VanMeter does have a copy of Genesis Hydra hand, Elvish Mystic, Nylea's Disciple, and looks like a Xenagos. Those are the 4 cards he's working with. Could have a big turn here.
Yeah, he doesn't have the land, but he can Xenagos and play out some other things here.
Yep. We could have Genesis Hydra be the big payoff card.
I mean, if he wants to really just dump things on the board, he can make Xenagos, make Mystic, make Mana, make Nylea all in one turn. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Chris go for that line. Just as much stuff as possible. And it looks like that. There you go. And that's exactly it.
Yep.
Xenagos, creature, make 4 mana, Disciple.
It's going to gain a bunch of life here.
Yeah.
Looks like 8.
Sure is. Up to 24.
Heck of a draw here for VanMeter this game.
Interested to see if he wants to attempt to... I don't think he can swing into this Monastery Mentor. 1 God's Willing will actually kill his Whisperwood.
I suppose that's true with the token that gets made.
Yeah. And then he doesn't even get to trade it for the Monastery Mentor because it has protection from green.
Well, looks like he will not be attacking. Going to hold the brakes.
Reasonable.
Johnny's Presence would accomplish the same thing too.
Yep.
So I think it's actually pretty smart to hold back here. Get yourself a manifest token. And build towards your ultimate turn, which is next turn with Genesis Hydra.
All right.
Update for you guys.
Big one here. So the match between Josh Ravitz and Zach Witten, that goes the way of Joshua Ravitz. So for him, he is into the top 8 with a record of 13-3. Congratulations to Josh Ravitz. We will be seeing him tomorrow, piloting Jund to a 7-1 record in the Modern event.
Very impressive for Ravitz. I know a lot of fans of his watching at home. So congratulations to JR. He's in the top 8 for tomorrow morning.
Did that on the back of Black-Green Jund in Modern, and Abzan Megamorph in Standard.
Yep.
It's kind of the same deck in both formats.
Yeah, pretty straightforward, simple stuff there for Ravitz. Nothing too flashy. Flooded Strand is land number 5 here for Fronsee. No, things get a little more difficult now. Aqua's form.
That's bad news for if you're a Chris VanMeter fan.
Can't forget about the Monk token. There's Jacob Wilson from Monastery Mentor.
Chris cannot stop these attacks anymore. Not even a Tarka will work. She only deals 5. Hero's up to a 6/6.
You see an attack here from the Monastery Mentor. That's a 3/3. The Scry from the Hero of Iroas. Aqua's form. You've got another result?
Yeah, and this one, this is a person, I think just a rising star in Magic. We've seen him from the Dallas scene where he top-8'd, played Jim Davis with Mono Red. JB Milo defeats Matt Anderson. So the youngster from the South, he is into the top 8. Congratulations to him. Playing Abzan Company in Modern.
We've got 6 in the top 8, 2 to go. Here's a God's Willing on the Monastery Mentor. That'll get you a Monk and a Prowess trigger. Trying to get some damage through here. There's your Scry. Quick update for you guys in the backup match. Alian Shrazi is up a game right now. I know he's got a Bruin Standard. He's got kind of a more normal green-red Tron deck in Modern. He is 1 win away from making the top 8. Looks like Fronsee is going to keep the card on top from the Scry with God's Willing. Looks like the damage is going to come across here, so life totals will change.
lot of damage push from Adam. Now he's going to take a lot of damage on the swing back. And this Genesis Hydra will be very important, just as far as what it gets for Chris. The actual fact that it's a large creature, I'm not sure how much that one matters.
Yep.
Adam will be able to chump that one for a while, but...
I think if I'm Chris in this situation, and I Genesis Hydra for a lot, I actually think what I'm looking for is just Nightlia's Disciple.
Well, I don't know if he also put Ugin in his deck.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the one is in. I mentioned during sideboarding I would like it if I'm on the play more than on the draw, but hey, if he hits it, it's lights out.
So this is a Genesis Hydra for 10, I believe. We'll confirm that one. He had enough mana to do it for 10.
How'd he do?
Hornet Queen, Whisperwood Elemental look to be the biggest finds. I would have loved the Spirit Dragon in there. But in his absence, you can take some still good options.
Yeah, Hornet Queen seems desirable.
Yep. I'd agree with that one. It's unblockable, and that's important.
Because we're racing.
Yep.
So he'll shuffle from Genesis Hydra. Four insects will join the party here in just a moment, I imagine, so long as Chris does not forget the trigger. As that would not be wise. There we are.
Got him.
See what the follow-up is. Just a Radical Mystic. That's the last card right now in VanMeter's hand. The Hydra is a 10-10. So not a bad turn there for VanMeter. Able to add 16 points of power on the board. I think you got to keep coming on into the red zone, though. There are some things that you're worried about here as far as those monks getting bigger, given that they do have prowess. Chris is going to send one Nightlia's Disciple. Going to come in here with the Manifest creature as well. Looks like Wishwood Elemental is going to hang out on defense.
Well, he doesn't want to lose it. And there's 2 prowess 1/1s in play. That's reasonable. It shows that he's still concerned about the card. I wasn't positive.
Yeah, I mean, for me in this situation, I actually want to attack with Wishwood Elemental because if there's a double block taking place and he has a trick, then that's fine. One less thing to worry about. And I already have enough big creatures probably swinging through the next turn that I just need to clear the way of some stuff at this point. Because I can see next turn, I can see this turn, Adam just saying, okay, I'll take the damage, I'll go to 12, and then I'll block your 2 biggest creatures next turn with my 2 monk tokens, and I have enough damage to race you with Aqua's form on Hero Viroas. That would be my concern right now if I'm Chris. I don't know if he'll be able to close in time.
Yeah, and I think Adam is saving his chump blockers for the large creatures. Looks like he's taking all the damage here. So yeah, he goes down to 12.
Here's the Manifest. Now, there are still some great cards for Chris to draw, like Dragon Lord Tarka, so.
Pelucranos.
Yeah, also very, very good.
That Xenagos makes a lot of mana now.
But there are some great cards for Fronsee to draw as well. He's going to start by sacrificing a Flooded Strand. He'll go down to 11, searching up a land. With the right draws, he could actually potentially end the game this turn. We'll see, though. It's a Plains. Let's see what's next here. The one thing I think if I'm Adam in this spot, I don't think you can stop attacking. Defense won't get you anywhere.
He has a second Aqueous form.
Oh boy.
So he's pretty assured of having a 2-turn kill.
Yep.
Just need to survive Chris's next attack.
The second Aqueous form means another monk token.
Yep.
That's something to keep in mind.
The question I would have here is whether or not he needs that second Aqueous form on Monastery Mentor, whether Monastery Mentor needs to attack to make this a 2-turn clock, or whether he can have her back on blocks too.
And for Adam, right now, I think you're thinking, how do I make enough stuff to block the largest creatures that are on the ground? Because don't forget, Chris is going to get another creature next turn if he wants it from Xenagos.
Right.
There's Aqua's Form Monastery Mentor. You'll get a Monk token as well. Prowess triggers, of course. Now you got to do the math.
All right, so the Monk is currently a 3/3. The Hero is a 6/6. So he has 9 unblockable damage right now. Now, it's unlikely he has enough damage to kill Chris this turn, but I suppose it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. You throw a God's Willing into the equation and Johnny's Presence, all of a sudden, the game could end. Let's keep in mind, those Monk tokens right now, except for the new one,
They can attack.
they can attack, and they're a 2/2. Now, for what it's worth, God's Willing's not great on this board because of the Manifest creature that's back on defense.
Right. All right.
That's a colorless one.
So 9 unblockable damage at the moment. He'll swing. He gets 2 scries. He's just swinging the Hero.
Okay.
That's fine. Chris will go to 8. Next turn, that attack should be lethal.
I'd be very surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah, 1 of Johnny's Presence plus Hero is 8.
Yep. Chris will take the 6. He'll go down to 8, as you mentioned.
From Chris, I assume I am dead next turn. Unless he finds a Nylea's Disciple. He's probably not dead.
If he finds out his disciple, he is alive.
A lot of green mana symbols.
Time to take a draw for Chris VanMeter.
Big draw.
Just a forest to go
All right.
along with that Rattleclaw Mystic. I think the question right now is, what are those manifests?
If one of them is Dragonlord Atarka, I think Chris gets this.
Yeah, I think it gets a lot easier if it's a Tarka.
I don't know, based on his face, though, I don't think one of them is.
Yeah. He's going to make a Satyr with Xenagos. I think everybody's coming into the club.
All right. Now, I mean, this is his move. So Adam's going to, if he blocks the biggest things, so let's see. If he blocks the Genesis Hydra, and can he afford to block both the manifests, I guess would be the next question.
Yeah, that's the question, right? Because if he blocks Genesis Hydra, Nylea's Disciple, Whispered Elemental, and a Manifest, those are the biggest creatures in the battlefield right now.
Right. So he takes 2 off the Mystics, goes up to, takes 4, up to 4 from the Rattleclaw, 7 from Nylea's Disciple, 8, 9 from Hornet Queen, and it looks like 4 more from the unblocked Hornets, so that appears to be 13 damage.
Yeah. And now that's if he blocks both the Manifest, not a Nylea's Disciple. If he trades that, that's 1 less point of damage.
So if he can have 1 instant, he gets an extra blocker, blocks the Disciple, and is at 11. He needs, I believe he needs 2 instants to survive here.
Fronsee's tapping a lot of mana, so he's going to strive in a Johnny's Presence. He'll target here and there. And he also allows him to get another Monk.
All right, so if you look at the largest creatures on the board, it's the Hydra, the 4/4, the 3/3, and a Manifest. And both manifests. So what comes through? The Rattleclaw comes through. The Satyr comes through. That's 4. The 2 Mystics come through. That's 6. The Insects come through. That's 10. And the Queen. That's 12.
That's 12.
I don't believe Adam survives this turn.
Yep, and he's doing the math right now. He's tapped himself out with the Strive on Johnny's Presence. And again, he has 5 blockers. You take into account the 5 biggest creatures of Genesis Hydra, Whispered Elemental, Nylea's Disciple, and the potential growth of the Manifest creatures as they're base 2/2s, but they could become bigger, something like a Pelucranos.
Right. So he's making the right blocks here. He's blocking all the biggest things.
Yeah, I'd want to put the 1 creature that's on Rattleclaw Mystic in front of the Manifest. That's the only thing I would want to do different here in this situation. But even if he does that as it stands, you see the damage that's coming through. That is 12. Chris is trying to fight back a smile. He's wanted this for so long.
He knows he's got it. Adam's tapped out. And we'll confirm.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Fronsee knows it. Maybe Fronsee asking for a draw in this situation, but if I'm Chris, I'm declining respectfully.
If Chris draws, he is in the top 8. He would be the 8th seed, and Adam is out both ways. So Chris VanMeter takes the match.
Chris VanMeter is going to win this match here over Adam Fronsee, 2-0. Green Red Devotion will take care of Bant Heroic. And for Chris VanMeter, something that has eluded him for a very, very long time, an invitational top 8, he has one here in Columbus.
Congratulations to Chris. Started the tournament with such a good start, 10-0. Manages to carry that with a 3-3 finish, but crosses the finish line and is into the top 8.
It got hairy for a little bit there. 10-0 start, he started to pick up a couple of losses, especially in the